oral communication in context with a tutor tandem, Nova Dolor B. Pilayo from SDO Bago City and Alvin R. Lim from SDO Pampanga. 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world with a tutor tandem, Florence de Vera from SDO Angeles City and Jocelyn C. from SDO Quezon City. Creative writing with a tutor tandem, Kit A. Nadado from SDO Tarlac Province and Jericel E. Corpus from SDO Isabela. And reading and writing skills with a tutor tandem, Jason A. Lechido, SDO Tagum, and Zen Margendive, SDO Agusan del Sur. Our senior high school tutors are high-caliber teachers from different divisions with one goal, ang maitulay ang pagkatuto sa gitna ng pandemya.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Good afternoon, Sir Alvin. Happy Tuesday. And Tuesday is indeed Choose English Day. How are you doing, Sir Alvin?
Okay, good afternoon also to Nova and also to our student viewers. Good afternoon. So if you're asking me how am I today? So I'm I'm doing good. I'm very excited because we're going to meet again virtually our student viewers
Yeah,
in oral communication.
that's right. Sir Alvin, wow, I'm just really amazed that we decided to wear the same color of t-shirt, although we did not
Yeah.
really. Oh, it's the same color. You're wearing the
Yeah.
uniform, but it's just the same color. Well, I think today also we are commemorating a very special day because it's a holiday. And for the information of everybody, today is dun, 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 dun.
Okay, it's Bonifacio Day. Yeah, and so
That's
one
right.
of our mighty heroes, who is also an author. Okay, aside from being a revolutionist, he also Andres Bonifacio contributed also in literature. Okay, English still.
That's right, Sir Alvin. Well, anyway, for our student viewers who are with us today, please feel free to interact. And for us to acknowledge you today, please key in your names and what school you come from so that we can also say hi to you. And we can also eye on you to be our next oral amazing student.
Yeah, for our oral amazing student for week 3, because later on we'll be awarding the week 2 oral amazing student. So
Right.
first read comments here. So we have here students from from City of Bogo Science and Arts Academy, Lealin Riven Estrella. Good afternoon. Okay.
That's right, Sir Alvin. We also got here from Mirale Kagang. Good afternoon to you. And she is from grade 12 Exodus. We also got here James Maswangat, a student from City of Bugo Science and Arts Academy, Senior High School, Aristotle. Thank you so much for being here with us. I think they're the ones who are punctual in the class today. We also got
Yeah.
here a lot more. So hopefully we could mention them one by one, but we couldn't. But of course, stay with us until the end of our session so that we can remember your names carefully for us to choose you to be one of our oral amazing student. We'd love to hear
Yeah.
all of your interactions in the class.
Yeah, to be an oral commit. Actually, you are all oral amazing student, but we
Yeah,
have
all of them.
to pick, okay, the most, okay, active and participative, and for that person who answered definitely correctly, and
Yeah, and most of the time
yeah,
interacts
most of
with
the
us
time.
and giving
That's
her
right.
or his insights in the class. Well, let's get it on, Sir Alvin. Let's
Yeah,
buckle up.
actually, last time to the Nova, I discussed with them, and I know you're in the comment section about
I was, right.
understanding, okay, deeply the speech context, the speech style, the speech act, and communicative strategy. We're in last session, we discussed the different factors, or the different, yeah, factors being influenced or affected by the different shifts in speech context, speech style, speech act, and communicative strategy. And
Right, Sir Alvin. And I think they were able to remember one of our students who participated with us or accepted the challenge for our week number two
yes,
discussion. That was Kessel. And Kessel there showed um, the different styles or the shifts when it comes to the different factors that was affected. So on the first video, Kessel was talking to her mom, very intimate and very casual. Now, on the second video, Kessel there talked to her teacher, and that was quite formal and consultative as well. So we can see that there is a shift going on. So that's why we really need to understand what are the shifts happening in the speech context, speech style, speech act, and of course, the communicative strategy.
yeah, that's right. So whatever shift, okay, might happen in a communicative situation, what important is we must know how to adjust, okay, to speak suitably
Mhm.
and appropriately depending on the given situations, because shifts are everywhere. So we
That's
have
right.
to, yeah, we have to
We need to
talk.
consider those
Okay,
factors for us to
that's right.
understand and employ them correctly in different situations. Okay, great job. How about our
So
dear students? Yeah,
we'll
go on,
be
Sir Alvin.
awarding now our oral amazing for week
Oh, this is interesting. Dun,
two.
dun, dun, dun. Well, before we reveal, Sir Alvin, I think that we were having a hard time last week for quarter two, week number two, choosing who will be our oral amazing student for week number two because there were a lot of interactions last time, and I can really see how dedicated our oral amazing students are, and I myself had a hard time in picking just one. Hopefully I could pick a lot more, but there was only one spot for every week. So for today, Sir Alvin, let's reveal who our student oral amazing student for week number two, and that
Oh,
is
and he is, do you know what?
there we go. Wow, your SDO Pampanga, Sir Alvin, is very
Yes.
interactive in the class. So congratulations to Mark Gabriel Musni, and he will be receiving 100 peso worth of rewards from us. So
Yeah.
congratulations to you.
Congratulations, Gab. So I hope to see you consistently on our next sessions. All
Right.
right.
So, like Gab, our dear Oracle Amazing student, you can also be one by simply interacting and sharing your insights or thoughts in the comment section. You know, the more substantial it is, the greater chances of you becoming our featured Oracle Amazing student. All right, let's get it on.
Okay. So last time to the Nova, we talked about the of course the first week topic, which is the types of communicative strategies. Checked. Okay. Next is the
The second one was we tackle about understanding speech context, speech style, speech act, and communicative strategy. And that's why for today, that will be
Okay, for today, we'll begin to write your speech or crafting your speeches. So, we'll be discussing for today the principles of effective speech writing. But then, we'll be
that
focusing
is
on the first two principles, which are audience profile and Churanova.
logical organization. Well, Sir
Mm,
Alvin, maybe some of our students right now are kind of considering writing their speeches a Herculean task or like a very difficult task. Well,
yes.
if if delivering a speech scares you already, and then writing your speeches also scares you, well,
Mm,
do not worry, because for the rest of the quarter, we will be helping you all throughout this journey for you to become
yes,
better when it comes to writing your speeches. So we
that's
will be
right.
learning the different principles today, and starting off with audience profile and logical organization.
Yeah, so we'll be teaching you or guiding you in writing your speech little by little. For today, we'll focus first on the first two principles, which are audience profile and logical organizations. So for today, our targets are: first, you're expected to identify the principles of effective speech writing. And the second one,
You are expected to analyze the importance of audience profile and logical organization in writing a speech. So, those are our targets for today. So,
okay,
buckle up and ready yourself for a new learning experience.
and let's get the ball rolling. Okay, so hello to Genova. Did you know that our country is known to be a powerhouse in the world of beauty pageants, right?
Of course, even when it comes to teaching different races, like I have been teaching Japanese students, and whenever they hear the word Philippines, our country, they would have this kind of idea that Philippines is really known for beauty pageants because, as they say, we're beauty and brains. Now,
Yeah.
given the fact, Sir Alvin, that our country is being represented by beautiful and equally smart candidates, I have no doubts that we are the powerhouse when it comes to beauty pageants.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Chodornova. And just recently, right, we had a winning streak in international pageants. And what I really love about these pageants is the way our candidates give their answer during the Q&A portion.
Right, we share the same thoughts, Sir Alvin, because the way the candidates deliver their answer is a very crucial moment and may make or break their chance in winning. Like, I think there are some viral videos wherein some of our beauty contestants are only saying thank you to the question, and after that, they're giving back the microphone, and that's it. That's their answer, because
Yeah.
it's really scary to be up on stage, right? And you will be delivering your speech or your answer to that question.
Yeah, that's right, Tutor Nova. Our conversation now makes me reminisce the answer of the phenomenal Catriona Gray during the final Q&A portion of the Miss Universe 2018, wherein she was eventually crowned as the winner.
That's right. Catriona Gray is the epitome of true beauty and brain, Sir Alvin. And I remember that too. Now, are you one of those who were left in awe after hearing the answers, our dear oral amazing students? What are those remarkable answers on the beauty pageants that are, quite great for you to remember, and you always recall that answer, and what made it stand out for you? So hope you
Yeah.
could share your thoughts on our comment section below.
So, um, in pageant or in any language function, for that matter, at one point, a person may find himself delivering a speech, right? Because answering a question, or yeah, a question in a pageant or in any other situation in any language, um, you may find yourself delivering a speech, right, Nova?
Indeed, Sir Alvin. Now, a good speech requires days or even weeks of preparation depending on the topic and the availability of materials needed. A speaker is expected to display exceptional knowledge in particular field of expertise when delivering a speech. Now, for this reason, careful planning is essential in coming up with a well-written speech.
Yeah. So in planning a speech or when planning for writing a speech, we must consider the following principles. And what are those principles, Tutor Nova?
Well, those principles, our dear oral amazing students, are audience profile, logical organization, duration, and the rest, Alvin, is
We have also word choice and grammatical correctness.
right. So that's why for today's session, let's study and delve deeper into the principles of audience profile and logical organization one by one. So we will only be focusing on these two first, because for the coming sessions, we will also be unlocking those different principles here in our class.
That's right. So for today, we'll be focusing on audience profile and logical organization as important or one of the or two of the effective principles in speech writing. So eto na yon. So you'll begin to craft your speech. The first thing you need to consider is the audience profile. So who is your audience? Or what is the audience?
Right. Now,
Okay.
when we say audience, or Alvin, an audience is a group of people who comes together to listen to the speaker, which means to say they will be the one who will witness your speech delivery. The audience may be a small group, or it could be a large group, or even a public audience. Now, the audience may listen in a traditional way, which is face to face with the speaker, or even now that we are in the new normal, there are also speech deliveries that happen virtually. Or they may listen through the use of communication technology, or what we call the media.
Yeah, I totally agree, to Nova. So, to our student viewers, what do you think is the reason why audience is the number one principle or one thing, the first thing you need to consider before you write your speech? Please
Yeah,
put your
bakit
answer.
kaya?
Yeah,
Why do we need to analyze who our audience are? Right?
tama. But
So,
hindi na lang ako,
and
magaling naman ako magsulat ng speech. Sulat ko na nga, but why do I
yeah,
need to know
why do you
first?
need to know who will listen to you when you
Yeah,
are on the process of writing your speech? Why? Bakit? In
bakit?
Bisaya,
Because which and
no.
whichever type of audience you may have and mode of listening they choose to use, your goal always is for them to understand and respond favorably to what you are saying, diba? Because we're speaking for our audience, of course. So as much as possible, we want them to agree on what we say. That's why
That's right.
audience profiling is a must.
It is, Sir Alvin. And it's also a great factor in analyzing who your audience are, which is a huge having a huge impact when you write your speech or in the process of writing your speech. Now, we got here our students on the comment section, Sir Alvin. Now, some of them here are saying, we have Mark Platon. He said, when you write a speech, audience profile should have different statuses. And we also have your John Dunzo, and he said, consider your listener because they are the listeners that would understand a speaker. That's from Raphael Fay.
Yes,
Oh, quite great insights, our dear students.
because your audience will be the one, just like in school in grading, there are the ones who will judge, all right, who will evaluate or who can determine if your speech is effective or ineffective.
Right, Sir Alvin. And for example, if you do not have any idea who your audience are, and you will be writing your speech and you will be using difficult types of vocabularies, but then,
Yes,
as to your surprise, your audience are actually elementary students, and there's no way they could understand you with the vocabularies you are using in your speech. Now, that's the main reason also why we need to analyze and identify who our audience are.
that's right. So I want to read the comment of Alan Mark de Jesus. The level of understanding of the audience must be considered for a clearer and effective delivery. That's
That's on
absolutely
point.
right. Yeah, that's on point because different ages has different level of understanding. Okay, because just like what you mentioned, the vocabulary that you're going to use should depend on the level of understanding of your listeners, of your audience. Of course, kung bata yan, you cannot use too much highfalutin words. You must be considering
Right.
also their educational background, right, and different demographic profile.
That's right, Sir Alvin. Now, how do we analyze, by the way, our audience, Sir Alvin? Could we
Yeah,
show our
actually,
table right here?
we can use this audience analysis table. All right.
Right. So we could determine who our audience are by looking at this table. You need to answer these different types of questions, like what is the age bracket of my audience? Are they from 15 years old to 17 years
Mhm.
old? Or how about their gender? Are they females or most of them are males? And how about their educational background? Like, are they elementary students? Are they high school students? Now, the place of residence also plays a great factor when you craft your speeches, because that might matter when it comes to the culture.
Yeah.
Perhaps you might be yung lumalagpas ka na sa hindi mo
Uh,
dapat sabihin pero
tama.
na-write mo sa speech mo kaya sinabi mo na rin. So, may mga
Or
bagay talaga na
yeah,
might
you
not be
may
considered
yeah.
in their culture.
Yeah, or in the language, right? Sometimes you may inject the mother tongue, but your mother tongue or native language, but then you
May
have
ibang meaning
some
sa kanila.
yeah, or and then you did not analyze your audience, and then you found out that you example, I talk in Kapampangan. I wrote my speech in Kapampangan with I did code mixing and code switching. But then there are some listeners who are coming from the Tagalog Islands, right? From um,
Yeah.
from
And they
Visayas.
can't
So
understand those
yeah,
pakapampangan words. So we're giving you the idea when it comes to
yeah.
considering place of residence. Now,
In
the
addition
marital
to that, we
status
have
is
the
also part of what you need to analyze from your audience. Also, the language spoken, what
language
Sir
spoken.
Alvin also shared earlier, and then the religious affiliations or beliefs. A very sensitive topic to talk about. So you
Mm-mm.
really need to know who your audience are by looking at this audience analysis table. This will be your guide. You can try to apply this when you are about to write or craft your speech.
So I think this is the first thing you need to do, because definitely this second quarter, your oral com teacher in your school will be requiring you definitely to deliver a speech. But then before
Of
you deliver your
course.
speech, you'll have to write it first. You have to write it first. So ngayon pa lang, itanong na kay teacher, di ba? Kay oral communication teacher, sino po ba ang manonood, right? Or ang audience namin, so that you can
You're
now
right.
begin, okay? Maybe choose your topic, definitely, which is suited after you analyze your audience.
That's right, Sir Alvin. So always remember, analyzing your audience will help you discover the information you can use to build a connection between you and the members of your audience. Again,
And
our
always,
first principle is audience profile. Yes, Sir Alvin?
and they should always remember that this analysis is done so that you can tailor fit, right? Tailor fit. Talagang fit na fit, akmang-akma. Okay, ang iyong speech content and delivery to your audience. So that is audience analysis, the first principle of effective speech writing.
That's right,
So
Sir Alvin.
is it clear? So please give us thumbs up or and heart, okay, reactions, so that we can proceed to our next principle.
Right. Ano kaya tong next na principle? So now that we already did, let's say for example, you're in the process of writing your speech and you are done now, um, evaluating who your audience are, analyzing who your audience are. Now the next step to that is knowing the principle of
Oh, what's
logical organization.
okay, logical organization. So after knowing who your audience are, the next thing you need to do is, of course, organize your speech. Begin writing your speech. So what is
Right.
logical organization to the Nova in speech writing?
Now, the logical organization when it comes to speech writing, this means to say, we can also say that it is the arrangement of thoughts when it comes to speech writing and can be defined as all aspects of your writing that help the reader move smoothly from one sentence to the next and from one paragraph to another, which means to say everything should flow logically from one key point to the next, from beginning to the end. So that is what we call the logical organization. So everything should be organized. Your thoughts should
Organize.
be organized.
And to better organize your speech, it is suggested to start with an outline first. So when writing your speech, you must consider the three principal parts, which are the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. But then,
Right.
Tutor Nova, what must be included in each part? In the introduction.
Well, let's start with the introduction part, Sir Alvin. This is the part of the written speech. Now, the introduction presents the main idea of your speech. Again, if it's introduction, it is the main idea of your speech. It is also important to note that the goal of the introduction part is to get your students or your
Attention.
participants, your audience hooked with your speech and provide the foundation for all the information that follows. So the introduction is one of the most essential parts in getting your audience hooked in listening from beginning
Yeah.
until the end.
Remember that keyword hook, okay? Just like in an article, it is the lead that will hook, okay, your viewers, your audience to so that they will get motivated in listening and finishing your entire speech. So and for the information of our students, Tutor Nova, the speaker generally spends only 10 to 15% of the time allotted for the speech on the introduction.
Right,
So
Sir Alvin. Well, now that you mentioned earlier Tutor Irene, we would also love to say hi to our students right there because today is our week 2 airing for IBC TV 13, Sir Alvin. And
yeah, that's right.
I think we would love to invite our students as well to watch our TV episode for oral communication in
Yes.
context.
Later at I think for 5 o'clock, right?
Oh, 4:55
Ah
until
yeah,
5:35.
4:55 IBC 13. So
That's right.
after dito, you can also watch us on TV. Okay.
All right. So you were saying earlier, Sir Alvin, that we need to spend at least 10 to 15% of the time allotted for the speech in the introduction part. Now we got here, Sir Alvin. According to Wrench in 2012, a good introduction serves 5 functions. Now let's
Mm,
get to know these 5 functions one by one. So the first function of a good introduction is that to gain audience attention and interest. Well, of course, maybe you find some introductions asking a question, giving
mm,
a certain quotation, or maybe stating a story. Now, maybe
mm.
that's their way of getting the
Yeah, yeah.
audience's interest from that certain perspective in the introduction part. Now, the second one, Sir Alvin, is
The second one is to state the purpose of your speech. It is very essential that in your introduction, you'll be stating the aim. Okay, what must be expected um, on your speech. Your audience must know early as possible on the introduction part, so that they will know or they can determine if your speech that you're about to deliver is essential to them, is beneficial to them. That's why
right.
a good introduction should serve the function of stating the purpose of your speech.
Right, Sir Alvin, which means to say having stating the purpose to your audience, it will serve as a guiding principle and will make them stay from the beginning until the end of your speech. Now, the third one, Sir Alvin, is to establish your credibility. So you should also take note that if it's the introduction part, you should always remember that the things that you are saying there, especially if you're stating facts, those should be, having truth, like it's credible things or credible statements, so that it would also build your credibility as the one writing for that. Like say for example lang Sir Alvin, diba, we are used to maybe using some quotations and then we are not citing those
Yes.
quotations coming from. So we should also try to what we call this one, give credits to whom it is due. So that is also one way of establishing our credibility as the one writing our speech. Now the
Okay.
fourth one, Sir Alvin,
And can
is
I just add to the third one about establishing
sure.
credibility, because dapat sa intro pa lang talagang ay makikinig ako dito, 'di ba?
Yeah,
Um ito, you are worthy to be heard of. So it at the introduction you must establish your credibility na what I mean is dapat ka nilang pakinggan, dapat ka nilang panoorin. Number
right.
four is in relation to the second one, if you state or if you successfully stated your purpose, definitely you're also providing reasons for your audience to listen. Sa introduction pa lang dapat makikinig ako dito. I have a lot of reasons bakit ako makikinig kay speaker. So dapat in your introduction, ma-establish nyo to. Okay? So you
Mhm.
should give, okay, your audience positive reasons why they need to listen on your speech. Intro yan, ha? Number
Right, Sir
five.
Alvin. Because even though we are still on the process of writing our speech, diba? Our words should speak loud. So dapat talaga you should have like a boom kind of introduction, but
Yes.
it would also give the audience kind of a great way for them to listen to you. Now, the number five function is to preview the main idea of your speech. So you really have to read it again or try to review what you have written. And then after that, try to evaluate, is my introduction good enough? Will this be wowing my audience later after when I
Mm-mm.
deliver my speech? So you yourself should also try to evaluate that after you write your introduction, preview it, evaluate it yourself. Now, again, those are the five functions of a good introduction.
And these functions are all positive in nature. That's why in order for you to achieve these five functions, you have to craft a very good and excellent introduction. So, isipin nyo na paano nyo uumpisahan ang inyong speech sa isang napakaganda at napaka-epektibong introduction.
Yeah,
So,
hey.
the next part of the speech is the body. The body is the core part of your speech that elaborates the main idea and the key concepts of your speech. So this offers definitions. Okay, you may give examples in your body or give any information that can help you convey your intent and clarify the main concepts of your speech. That's why it must be presented in an organized manner.
Bingo, Sir Alvin. Now, may I just also add that the body of the speech may be presented using different common patterns of organization, such as
Mm,
the first pattern is problem solution order. Now, the second one is categorical or topical order. Now, the third one is chronological order, comparison and contrast order, spatial or geographical order, and the last one is the causal order.
So you mean, Tutor Nova, there are a lot of ways on how they can write their body, or the body of their speech.
Yeah, the outline. It's like giving them a help. Because I think, Sir Alvin, ang pinaka problematic talaga na nagawin siguro for the part of our students. Kasi I've been reading a lot of essays, right? Because
Yeah,
we've been
yeah.
handling different classes already, especially for English for academic and professional purposes and those kind of subjects in English. Siguro sa introduction parang napapawaw ka pa. Pero kapag nasa
Mm-mm.
body part na, parang nalilito na rin ako as a reader, where is this thing heading to? Because on the introduction part, she was talking about this topic, but then on the body
Exactly.
part, there is another stand or another viewpoint. So also it's kind of confusing. So that's why these type of patterns are essential for you to use on, so that you will not be lost along the way in writing for your
Yeah.
body part.
So, in other words, after writing your introduction, or actually in choosing your topic, you should now begin choosing what is the pattern, okay, on how you're going to organize your speech. Would it be problem solution order, categorical, up to the causal, so that magkaroon ng direksyon ng iyong speech. Because kapag hindi, sabog-sabog yan, right? Parang,
Yeah,
kumbaga sa ano, mahirap, chaotic siyang ano, intindihin. So, wala siyang direction. So, in order for them to be familiarized, let's have a sneak peek on
yeah.
each pattern, on
Patikim
each
lang, patikim.
patikim, so that they will be having an idea kung ano ba ang perfect na pattern or outline sa kanilang napiling topic, okay? Topic or title ng kanilang speech. So, let's
Right.
have first the first pattern of organization, which is the problem solution order. So this pattern explains the problem and suggests a possible solution. It's very simple. You are dealing with the problem, okay, in your
I think
speech, and then
mostly this is applied on beauty pageants for the problem solution, diba? Because they are given a question, and their content, the content of the answer should be a solution to that kind of scenario or question. So very
yeah,
applicable for beauty
yeah.
pageants.
If you're discussing a problem and you want to provide solutions, this is the best outline or the pattern that you're going to use. Problem solution order. Next.
All right. Now, our next pattern of organization is what we call the categorical or topical order. Now, this pattern divides a topic into subtopics that are arranged based on the importance of the key point in supporting the main idea. So, again, kapag categorical siya, which means to say it divides the topic into different subtopics, which making it easier for you to talk about what you're going to write in the body part. Again, that is categorical or topical order.
Yeah. And next, let's have now another pattern of organization is the chronological order. So this pattern presents a historical or time order, which is from the past to the present. So this method is best applied in giving narratives, right? In which the
Right.
speaker tells a story or account in the order in which the events occur. So chronological order from the foreign word chronos, which means time. So in here, when you're following the chronological order, definitely in your speech you want to show procedure, right?
Mhm.
Order of events or timeline. Yan. Kapag
Yeah,
mga
that's right,
ganun
Sir
ang
Alvin.
datingan ng mga speech nyo, example, my daily routine, definitely chronological order ang gagamitin mong pattern. Okay?
All right.
Next
So
is
our next pattern of organization, Sir Alvin, is what we call the comparison and contrast order. Now, this pattern compares and contrasts two or more points. So when we say two or more points and we talked about comparison and contrast, that means to say talking about similarity and differences. Now, that is what we call the comparison and contrast pattern.
okay. Another pattern of organization is the spatial or the geographical order. This pattern presents an idea in the order of their physical location or space. So it is like going from one place to another or from direction to another. In this pattern of organization, you are considering the geographical, the location, and even the space covered by the
Yes.
thing, okay, or by the thing you're talking about. So if you're very interested or very focused on,
Into places, yeah, they
yeah,
could apply that
places.
when it comes to pattern. Like, kapag gusto mo mag-get ng talambuhay mo, tapos pinanganak ka doon, tapos lumipat ka doon, dito, ganyan.
Mm-mm.
So you can try to do the spatial or geographical order. Now, Sir Alvin, last but not the least is the causal order. Now, this pattern involves a discussion of both the cause and the effect of an issue, like the global warming. So cause and effect. Ano pa ba? Yung mga cause and effect, like vaccinations. I think we are
Yes.
having the vaccination day. Was it from November 29 until December 1? I'm not sure. I think, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
what will
right.
be the cause of why we need to get vaccinated and the effect
The
after,
effect.
yeah, the
Actually, common
vaccination.
ito, Tutor Nova, sa mga essays ng mga bata na sa mga speeches nila. Okay,
Mhm.
example, yeah, the coronavirus disease or the COVID-19, the cause, ang pinagmulan, and then anong nagiging epekto. Usually, yung mga ganyan ang datingan ng mga essays
Mhm.
ng mga articles ng mga estudyante natin. But then, aside from causal order, so again, the common methods, okay, you can use, we have yung na-mention, problem solution, categorical or topical, chronological, comparison and contrast. Ano mga kasing dalawa, Tutor Nova?
We also got here spatial geographical order
Mm.
and then the causal order, Sir Alvin.
So, can we let them identify the pattern?
Sure, I think we still have, I think, few more minutes to go. So
Yeah.
let's try to use this time. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
so
our students could ace this drill, Sir Alvin.
that's
Let's
right.
have this
So
one.
identify the most appropriate pattern of organization that must be applied in this topic. So these are topics. What is the best, okay? The most appropriate pattern of organization. First one is the life of the greatest pharaohs that ruled the ancient Egyptian civilization. The life
Ano kayang
of the
pattern to?
greatest pharaohs.
If the
Mm-mm.
topic talks about this,
Yeah, parang
could our student
napaka-historical,
help
di ba?
us on the comment section, please? More talking about timelines,
Yeah.
histories. So, what will be the pattern that is fit for this type of
Okay.
topic?
The correct answer is all right. It is chronological order. So tama because yeah, tama, Daniela. We're talking about historical events here. So We'll be telling the earliest from the earliest, okay, down to the latest, okay, life of the pharaohs who ruled the ancient Egyptian civilization. Next, Tutor
Right.
Nova.
Now, the next one, Sir Alvin. Okay, here this kind of a tricky one. The distinct
Yes.
characteristics of men and women and how they complement each other. Ooh, distinct
Yes.
characteristics. And we're
Of
actually having
men.
two things here, men
Yeah,
and women. Ano
of
kayang
men and
pattern of
women.
organization is applicable if our topic is about this? Like talking about distinctions and talking about two things.
Okay, so every little fate, Arnoko answered comparison and contrast. Let us check. That's
Right.
correct.
So it is comparison and contrast since we are referring to characteristics of men and women, and you can use this pattern to identify the resemblances and distinctions of men and women. So it's comparison and contrast order.
Next is the use of bicycles as an alternative to solve the shortage in public transportation. The use of bicycles as an
Mm.
alternative to solve the shortage in public transportation.
We got here
Nandiyan
the
yung keyword, di
keyword
ba?
shortage, right?
And
Ano
even the
kaya?
very obvious keyword to Nova, solve.
What will be the pattern that is fit for this kind of topic? Oh, we got here on the comment section, Sir Alvin. It's
Yeah,
Nicole Jaya. She
yeah,
said
Nick
problem
Bullet.
solution pattern.
Let's check. So Nick, that's right.
Yeah, it is
So
quite obvious anyway that it's problem solution patterns, Sir Alvin, because
yeah, because in this one, the use of bicycle as an alternative to solve, definitely that is the solution because there's a problem. And what's the problem? The shortage in public transportation. So simply presenting the problem and also solution to that specific problem. Okay.
all
Now,
right.
Tutor Nova, in as much as we want to give another exercise for
Yeah,
them,
we don't
baka
have
hindi
much
matapos
time.
ang speech nila kung intro at body lang ang madiscuss natin. So, dapat you should know how to end, okay, their speech. And we call that part, Tutor Nova, the
Conclusion part. Okay. Now, what is a conclusion? Conclusion reiterates the main idea and summarizes your whole speech. Again, that is conclusion. Remember the main parts. It's IBC, which means to say introduction, body, and conclusion.
and conclusion. Now, in concluding, okay, you should end with an impact. Of course, you begin it with a bang and end it with an explosion, of course. So, in ending with an impact, yeah, you may use thought-provoking questions, humor,
Humor.
quotation, di ba? How about the other ways, Nova? You can also
You can
use
also try to a call for action. Just present a call for action or a connection to a larger context. Now, one may think that completing the introduction, body, and conclusion, Sir Alvin, means that little improvement is needed. However, it is also important to take a second look at your written speech. So that's why it's also important to create a draft. So fix any problem and improve your ideas because even experienced writers and even us teachers and speakers need to constantly improve our own writing style.
precisely, Tutor Nova. And to our student viewers, at some point in your life, you will probably have to make a speech. And undoubtedly, you want that speech to be a memorable one for your listeners. Therefore, dear students, bear in mind the principles that we've just discussed the next time you have to write a speech, which are the
Audience analysis,
the audience profile or
audience
audience
profile,
analysis and
the
logical
logical
organization,
organization.
IBC, intro,
That's right.
body, and conclusion. So
That's it. Okay. Now they need to stick around for the next session, which is the continuation of our principles on effective
yes,
speech writing, Sir Alvin. We will be discussing the modulation, articulation, and what else? That was duration also. So a
that's
lot more
right.
to discuss with the different types of principles about speech writing. All right.
So
So, Sir
for
Alvin.
our learning kumustahan, So we'll be doing this way. So I want to comment. So how's your experience, right? Kumusta? Okay, after knowing how to begin your speech by number one, analyzing your audience or the audience analysis, and number two, logically organizing your intro, body, and conclusion. So please comment down.
Yeah, what are your insights? What are your thoughts after hearing these principles that you need to consider or know before you write your speech, or even you are on the process of writing your speech? We want to know. Did it make it easier for you now? Do you think you're good to go,
Yes.
or yeah, I think there's a lot more to learn. But knowing about the audience profile and the logical organization, did it also help you today?
Yeah, okay. So, may singit ko lang 'to, ma'am. Nail Asef Garcia, pa-shout out. So, hello. Ayan. So,
Ooh,
ooh.
all right. Papunta na sa Sir Alvin.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, our time is up, Sir Alvin. So we want to say
Mhm.
thank you so much to our dear student viewers. You have been an oral amazing students today. So we hope on the next session for the next topic for the principles of speech writing, you will be more interactive on the comment section and let us know how much you have enjoyed the class with us today through our. Do we have the QR code for the feedback form, Sir Alvin? No.
Um, I think it's not here, but then
We will be providing it on our next session.
next
All right,
session.
so Sir Alvin, any parting words?
Okay, so please tune in again next week, same day and same time for another learning journey in oral communication. Again, this is Tutor Alvin.
And I am Tutor Nova. See you next Tuesday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Bye
And
bye.
always
Thank you so
remember
much.
to be the best in oral communication in context. Till then, happy learning!
Bye bye.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag #ETUlayLevelUp. Huwag aalis ha dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!